Okay, in this video we're going to discuss how to connect to an ISX2700 using a internet connection, and we're going to be using Ntrip. So we're just going to start a new project. And just going to accept the defaults, define our coordinate system. The coordinate system, you're going to match that to the area you're surveying in. We happen to be in zone 11. And we're actually outside here recording, so I don't know if you can hear the vehicles passing by. We're just going to use ellipsoid heights for our sample. Alright, now what you're going to want to do is create a profile. I've got one here that I've already created called Sokkia, and then press Edit. And under Model and Communication, you'll want to select the receiver you're connecting to. Ours is the 2700 ISX, and I'm using a Bluetooth connection, so I've got it set to COM6, and the baud rate that we're using is 38400. And on this screen, that's all you need to set. Now for your tolerance modes, you can refer to the FieldGenius manual on what to set in there. And then for our antenna height, I just have it set to GSR 2700 ISX, where we would be measuring to the bottom of the antenna mount. And then for our example here, I'm not going to enter in a height. We just want to show you how to make a connection. And then for your correction link, this is going to be the important screen here. We're using a GSM modem, so you need your GPS port set to internal modem. And the baud rate is 115/200. And the data format here, FieldGenius will, once you connect to the Ntrip and get your source table, we will set the format based on what you've selected for the mount point. But if you do know which format you want to use, you can set that here right now if you wanted to. And then for our connection, we're going to be using a mobile modem, and we just need to go into the setup. And for our connection method, we're going to use Ntrip. And I've already entered in the settings here to make the connection to the internet. And you would get this information from the dealer who sold you the receiver, or whoever helped you set up your modem. And then based on the network you're going to be connecting to, you have to enter in your user IDs and password, and IP address and port. And that's basically all you need to check there. If you hit OK, and just accept these settings, and then press the connect button. If all your settings are correct, just need to choose the receiver we're going to connect to here with Bluetooth. If your settings are correct, you'll get this screen, which is just a reminder that you need to, after you hit continue here, to go turn the modem on. And when we get to the map screen, you're going to see we are tracking satellites already. Here we got 14 we're tracking, and our current solution type is just an autonomous position. So the next step is you need to go into the control menu, and you need to turn on the modem. And if you were to look at the lights on your receiver, you would see just an orange light on the modem indicator. And when you turn that on, you'll see some green and red lights start flashing just below the orange indicator. Okay. And to check the status of your connection, if you go back to the control menu, you can go into correction information. And the important thing here that you want to look for is this message info. You want it to say connected to the internet. As soon as you see that, that's telling you you've got an internet connection, and the next thing you can do is connect to the Ntrip server. And that's what we're going to do here. We're going to hit this button. And what it's doing now is it's contacting the server and it's getting all the mount point names that you can connect to. And depending on the amount of mount points, this will take a different amount of time to download. And right now here we're logged into an Ntrip server in Ontario. We happen to be on the opposite end of the country essentially, but we can still connect over the internet even from this distance. So what I'm going to do here is just select this mount point here. And one thing I want to note before I do select that, if you scroll with the scroll bar, you'll see there's all kinds of information here about the mount points. You're going to see this is a networked mount point, which means for this to work correctly, we need to send our position to the server. So we're going to hit select highlighted. Oops, and I selected the wrong one there, but we'll just see what happens here. I wanted to select the other one. So it takes you back to the correction information screen, and if corrections start coming in, you should see the message age here get better. Usually you'll want to see it roughly 1 second or so. And again, we're several thousand kilometers away from this server we're connecting into here, so that's why you're going to see a little bit of a lag there in the time that it takes to get those corrections. For normally you're going to see probably anything around a second or even a little bit less. Now if we hit close here, you're going to see now our solution type here is RTK float. It might switch to RTK fix, but float is probably the best we can get based on where we're located compared to the server. And again, if you just want to take a look at the current RMS here for the float solution, I'm just tapping this button where my cursor is currently pointed. Whoops, hit it once too much there. One more time. You see we're roughly about a meter, or under half a meter, which is about an RTK float solution. Now if you want to go back into the control menu, if you did want to turn off the modem, you can press the modem off button at any time. You can always come back to the correction information screen, and you can also always go back to the Ntrip list and connect to a different mount point if you needed to. And this was the one I originally wanted to connect to here. Alright, now that's been connected to. Again, we should see the message age start getting smaller. There we go. And again, if I exit back to the map screen, we'll have an RTK float solution. So that's basically all there is to it. Once you get it all set up, it's mainly just connect to the receiver, press a couple buttons, and you're on your way.